Have you tried VR horror games? I have. Do you remember me, Zen, and Haruka went through a VR horror game, and Haruka, she let out the most real scream I've ever heard from her. I don't remember what game we played. We did something in VR and she freaked out. It was so good. Monta levels? Yeah. It was completely real. It was nuts, man. Was it Backrooms? There's something else. What was it that we played? I don't know. We were just doing VR together for a day. And one of the things we did was a horror map. I think it was a VR world that was based off of PT. I think. Probably. I'm trying to remember what it was. I just remember we were walking around a hallway in a square, very PT-like. And then there was one of these inner, like if you're walking and turning right, you know, one of the doors on the right was the internal room. And I remember we open it, you walk in, and there's a thing that when you turn back and the door jump scares you. But the thing is, in VR, a lot of those things don't activate until you, the player, are in the room. So you see it at a different time when the other person sees it, depending on when you walk in that room. So I remember Haruka just like having a blood-curdling scream, and I was like, what's she screaming about? And then I go in the room, and then it triggers for me, and I was like, oh. All I saw was her walk in the room and scream and just stop because she was in desktop mode in VR. I was like, what are you doing? Shit was funny. If you look at Glamrock Freddy's ballsack on night 4, you find the lore for the visual novel. Oh my god. I kind of want us to make a horror game for this community, but it's literally that. Look into Dumpert's Jorts at 3 a.m. and you will get a lore cutscene. Guys, we gotta write a really cringe horror story for a simple game, and then we gotta get Markiplier to play it, and then I start to make merchandise of the characters, okay? The horrible, scary characters. We need to hire someone to just draw like insane amounts of porn of like these random characters. We can't do animatronics though, that's been done, so we have to pick something else. We gotta like make OCs for this. We need to do the thing where we both sell like not safe for work stuff to the adults, and then we also make like random for kids, because that's what every horror game seems to do now. What are you saying right now? Minky, tell me I'm wrong. FNAF, tell me I'm wrong. What do you think they do? The official company licenses all this and sells it to kids, right? Because kids love FNAF. And then on the other side of things, you got all these adults drawing like so much porn of the characters. And I'm like, is that how you make money nowadays? Kind of scary, kind of awful. But like, I think that's how you make money now. I've noticed this with a lot of like stuff that's marketed to certain audiences. I don't love it. I don't like it, but it seems to be the way. It's weird. I don't know, but I think that's just the way. So we got to make a horror game, get Markiplier to play it, and then we also have to make like a whole separate line of art that we sell on Patreon to other people. So guys, get to cooking, okay? This is how we're finally going to make money, and we're going to fund the Geegoid compound, all right? So you can all live in the barracks. This is the only way. Oh my god, wait. Horror game where you go pooping, can't see any mites and freak out. Wait. Oh, horror game where you're stuck on the toilet. Horror game where you need to run, but you're stuck on the toilet. You're mid-poop. Oh man, wait, we're cooking. Okay, you're in a public restroom. Main character, Glup Shitto, and we put him in the public bathroom. Call it Scared Shitless. Wait! Here's the premise. You're camping, and you're camping on one of those campgrounds that has public restrooms. And you go in, yeah, and you have to go dark dumping because their lights are like not really working. So you have to poop. So you go to the first, like night 1, you go to the public restroom close to your little space and you go and take a and it works. But then you break the toilet. So the next night you have to go to like this random outhouse, this old outhouse, okay? And then that's out of commission. Third night, now you have to go like in the forest without walls around you. So you're just in the dark dumping. And I think we call the game dark dumping. I think we could do this. Guys, we should do a game jam where you guys all make games, but they're only your own version of dark dumping. And I think we could go crazy. But the thing is, I won't accept it unless you have like insane levels of lore hidden within it, okay? It has to have so much lore. It's the only way for us to sell it and get our Geegoid compound. He said all 9 will kill you. We need it, man. Oh. Ooh, maybe in one of them you get stuck in the toilet. Oh. Ooh, Czar's cooking. You're on a cruise boat. Kraken attacks. You were taking a doo-doo. Tentacles crawl out from the toilet. But you're mid-poop, so you're trying to struggle with running versus staying above it a little bit to at least get your poop out. Oh my god. Dude. That's it. Because what makes horror games good is like suspense and like wanting to make certain decisions, certain choices, but feeling like you can't, right? Feeling a little trapped in decision. Yes. Remember an itch game where you have to fix the toilet, but you get stopped by a QuickTime event to hold your piss in while stuff is just jump scaring you to piss yourself? You could get up and run, but then you're like, you got the groundhog going on the whole time. So you could do that, or you could like sit through more horrific stuff and like get it out and then run. Maybe the pro tag has really bad IBS. So all this stress is like making it worse too. So you get less stressed if you don't look at things. So imagine you're running through a hallway or running through a forest, okay? And like there's a sound to your left. And you know you can do some sort of mechanic to turn and like do a thing and block it. But if you don't look, you get less scared. You know what I'm saying? Like we can do a lot of interesting mechanics with this. Like not looking and not giving yourself like, you know, that moment of clarity is what makes you play the game better, but it's more horrifying. You want Garrick as the VA? Oh my God. And then all the monsters are Dread. It's just Dread going, what are you doing in there? What's going on, man? You better come out of there. I need to go. Wait, I have so many potential VAs. No, actually, honestly, I would hire a lot of people to VA different monsters, and I would 100% I would get burned. Remember when he RP'd alone in the corner in SCP with himself in front of this PC object, trying to pretend that he was making the beautiful creatures? He was playing a scientist, and he was like, my beauties. He just RP'd with himself for 15 minutes. We need him. We need him on the job. Nature calls. No, I want to call it dark dumping. Did I ever tell you the dark dumping story? Did I ever tell you that? This thing my brother used to do. Oh, it was so funny. It was so funny. Okay, so it's not even a crazy story. It was just so funny. One of my brothers would... So there was this one bathroom that he would go to in his school, and it was like in the basement, and like nobody would be around, because if he needed to poop, he didn't want people around. He was really embarrassed, okay? And he's very introverted, and he just couldn't, he would do anything to not be in a bathroom pooping while someone else is in there, okay? So he would go to this bathroom in like the basement of his school where no one was around at the most dead time, okay? And he'd go poop in that bathroom. But what he would do, because he was this level of stressed all the time by people existing and knowing that he existed and that he pooped, he would turn the lights off. So people thought that the bathroom was like not open, and he would go poop while it was dark so that people wouldn't like be like, oh, bathroom's open, and go in there. It was his genius strat, apparently. So he would do this. And one time, one of his friend told me about this after. One of his friends opens that door and turns the light on and goes, hello? Because he saw like feet, he saw legs in a stall. He walks in, he turns the light on, he realized someone was in a bathroom stall, but it was pitch black in there. So this friend of ours goes, hello? And he said to me that my brother went, turn it off, I'm dark dumping. Because he heard the hello and realized it was his friend. So instead of saying quiet, he said, turn it off, I'm dark dumping. And our friend went, okay, and turned the light off and left. And he tells me that story every time I see him. He's like, yo, remember when your brother was dark dumping? Oh, it was so funny. So now like that phrase dark dumping has just existed like between my friends, like my brothers, for the longest time. Because my brother claimed he was dark dumping. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, that's the strat if you're really afraid of people knowing that you poop. Just go find a bathroom, turn the lights off, close the door so people think it's not real. It's so stupid, man. I think when he was younger, he was just so afraid of like everything. So even now he's so anxious about everything, and he doesn't act anxious, but he has these weird behaviors from it, and it's stuff like that. Like your brain does some mental gymnastics. Like, you know, a good idea would be to sit in the dark with the door closed so that no one comes in, so they don't know that I poop. Like I don't know, man. That's the guy in the stall next to the pro tag. A guy that wants to keep dark dumping, so every time you try to turn the lights on, he's like, turn it off. I want a dark dump. Oh man, that has to be Dread. That has to be voiced by Dread. I'd like the lights off, please. And then voiced by Kermoto. Actually, Kirby would do really well with that too. It has to be Kermoto or Dread. I'm dark and twisted. I need the lights off. We need to make it really scary. We need to make it so that there's like a character next to you also pooping in the stall. We need to have like very American bathroom stalls too, where the lower edge of the stall is like way too high up and you can see like the entire person's legs next to you. We need like the person next to you like reaching their hand and being like, I need toilet paper. You know, they keep like reaching into your stall and stuff. Yeah, we need to make it so uncomfortable. Yeah, they peek in. Oh my God. What if like some of the monsters are just no monsters? What if it's just people and some of them just try to like look through the cracks and you gotta like use your hand to cover it? Just an eyeball peeking through the crack would be so horrifying. Oh my God, wait, we could make it so scary. And it's like a bloodshot eye. That is my nightmare. I think it actually would be horrible. If you fail the wiping QuickTime event, the toilet paper rolls into the adjacent stall. Oh my God.
Going dark, caca.
Stop. What's it going dark? I hear the bits. Oh, what if it becomes like it becomes everything everywhere all at once? What if the final mission is just you're so overwhelmed because there's so many things happening? It's like that game. What's that game? There's like a new horror game released where you're like a kid playing on your Game Boy in a car, and you're trying to like you have to like grab the wheel and swerve, and then you also have to block the windows from monsters and it just, I was watching a few people play it, and they were just getting so overwhelmed, and they were like pressing a billion buttons. It was like fast FNAF. Yeah, the car game, yeah, the one where you're in a car. Make it like that, where by the end of it you just get so overwhelmed. There's just you're like covering people's eyes trying to peek through the gaps, and like you're trying to stuff toilet paper in the gaps. I think it should be like that. Dead seat. Thank you. That's what it was. That's what it was. It looked pretty cool. I just was trying to imagine. So in the game, you're like a kid in the backseat of the car, and you have like what looks like a Game Boy or like a DS or something. You know, you're holding it and you're playing a game on it. There are monsters in the game, and the things that are happening in the game are also happening in real life around your car. So you would like turn to your left and like cover a window. You do a thing and take a picture and like flash at the monster to have it like go away. And you're just like doing little things to get these monsters from being able to harm you. But one of the things you do is when there's something in the road that you need to swerve out of the way of, you just reach your hand from the back middle seat. You're like the child in the back seat. You just reach your hand up and grab the wheel and swerve. And I'm like, now hold on. What parent is letting this happen and isn't turning around smacking the shit out of them for doing that? Like, like the character can just reach forward and go skirt, like around something and just grab the wheel. like I'm sorry, if I'm driving and someone reached over and grabbed the wheel, I'd cut their arm off. I would never. Oh no.